Rahman Rahim wa salatu salam ala ashraf al-mursaleen. Brothers and sisters, jazakumullah khair for coming. This is a very, very special day for us, inshallah. Just the least we can do is to make united prayers for our brothers and sisters in Palestine. Sisters, can you hear us from the back? You can't hear us from the back. So we want to make sure sisters can hear us from the back. Can you hear anything? Do I need to shout? Okay, I'll shout. Can you hear me now? Okay, Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. So I wanted to just thank you all for coming today to become part of this unification of Muslims in New Jersey, to be able to address our issues and together. This is the result of many meetings that happen with the coalition has been created with over 55 masajid and other organizations. We have been meeting since this issue with Palestine came into existence, and we have been talking about the ways how to unify our voices. Alhamdulillah, we have done quite a lot, writing letters, we have done protests, and we have done also prayers. And we decided that we will need to have a unified prayer, Janaza for Shuhada of Palestine. And Imam Chebli, Jazahullah, he's the one who suggested that, and he's going to lead the prayer. Allahu Akbar, Takbir, Takbir, Alhamdulillah. So make sure you line up really well when the Janaza prayer comes. And I'm going to just explain the program. My name is Omar Mohammedi. You can hear me? Can you hear me now? All right. Okay. My name is Omar Mohammedi. I'm the president of the Falah Center. We welcome you on behalf of the board and the community here in Falah. We welcome you. We are so honored to have you here to lead this prayer here, inshallah, with us. But this is the initiative of the coalition that has been working around the clock to make sure that our voices are unified. This coalition has been established for Palestine, but is going to be also addressing many issues affecting our Muslim community in New Jersey. We're not going back again. We're not going back again. We're going to move forward. We are going to move forward, and we are going to address our issues in a way that every community will address it. And we have that right. We have the First Amendment right to address our issues, specifically when there are many violations of human rights that are unbelievably, and the way things are happening is for us to make sure that we address them, and we have that right. None of you should be silent. None of you should be silent. None of us should be silent. Specifically when the truth is with us. The truth is with us, and the truth always prevails, no matter what, right? So, inshallah, we're going to have this program, Barakallahu Feekum. We're going to have Brother Sami, he's going to speak as a Palestinian. I think it would be great for him to address this crowd where 17 members of his family were killed in Palestine. Rahimahullah, the Shuhada. And we're going to have Brother Tarek is going to speak. We are waiting for Dr. Shadee to also give a speech before, inshallah, the Salat. Hopefully he will arrive very soon. He was supposed to arrive in next 5-10 minutes, I believe. Inshallah, he will be doing that. And then Imam Chebli is going to lead the Janaza prayer. He's going to do the dua in Arabic. And then we have Imam Shareef is going to do dua in English. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Brother Sami.
Assalamu alaikum. It's with a very heavy heart that I address you today, and it's under dire circumstances. As Brother Omar mentioned, 17 people in my family were killed. The way that they were killed is not the way that If you look at even the animal kingdom, people don't do things like this. It was one rocket hit my uncle's house and they all exploded. My cousin, she survived long enough for them to do surgery on her, and in the surgeries there's no anesthesia. They cut directly into you to try to remove her spleen, and she didn't survive very long, only another day. My uncle did survive 10 days, and those 10 days were excruciating because he was burned from the top of his head to his toes. If I show you the pictures of him in his final moments, you would say that he was completely burned. He needed morphine just to even keep conscience. Those that passed are actually some of the lucky ones. The ones that are still living now, many of them, they're suffering in a way that many of us can't even imagine. My mom was telling me about a little girl this morning that she's tiny, a small little girl. Both of her hands and both of her feet were amputated. The people there, they don't have water to be able to make wudu, to be able to do basic functions in a lot of cases. So some people are defecating on themselves, the kids are dirty, they're starting to get these diseases that you only get because there's no way to keep yourself clean. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned that we are an ummah of one, and that when any part of that ummah hurts, the whole body hurts. So my question to everybody here is, how bad are you hurting right now? How much has this hit you? How much does this occupy you? To know that you have thousands of brothers and sisters that are being mercilessly killed, that they don't have basic necessities, that basic humanity is not even being shown to these people. My cousin, when she had to have her baby, she went to the hospital. They said, there's no room here, you have to go out. So she had to have a C-section in some almost closet. And you know, here in America, we just have a million doctors around us when we're going through these procedures. For them, no, they don't. They have none of that. And now she's holding her baby. Her baby is now 2 weeks old, still does not have papers, as if the baby doesn't even exist. This is the reality of what we're dealing with now. These are the people that are dying. There are shuhada, that's true. But that's an easy out for us to also say, oh, they're shuhada, Allah has accepted them. Like Brother Omar said, this is not a time to be silent. We are praying Janaza on a people that are not able to pray Janaza on themselves. When my family was finally excavated, it took 4 days for them to even get to the bodies, because the bombing wouldn't stop. When they finally pulled them out, they pulled them out in small pieces, burnt, unrecognizable. They clumped them together in a way that you wouldn't even be able to determine, but just in a way to give them some type of janazah. These are our brothers and sisters. My mom tells me, and my cousins are telling me, that the carcasses now, the bodies, are laying on the streets, and the dogs have begun to devour those human bodies. Your brothers and sisters, are you hurt? Are you crying? Has this hit home? Because if it hasn't, then that's a sickness within our ummah. But I think it has. And in a lot of ways, we are trying to make momentum. And I will part with just one or two things. When my uncle, in his final moments, just to tell you the level of some of these people, in his final moments when he was passing, his name's Uncle Muhammad. He was on one side of the room. He asked them to move them to the other side of the room. They didn't know why. They simply did it. There was an explosion as soon as they moved him, and the whole part of the room that he was in was exploded. SubhanAllah. My father had called him, and he started reciting names. And his son was like, what are you reciting names? He was in so much pain, but he was reciting names. He said, I'm reciting the names of the 70 people that I'm going to take with me into Jannah as a shaheed. He was saying them, and he told my father, Atif, you're one of them. This is their iman. And as he was parting, he had a moment of clarity, and he started saying names, and these are names of my uncles that have passed. Ya Isa, I'm coming, as if they were calling him. He was responding to them, not aware of this world that we're in, but in another plane. He was responding to them. I'm coming to you, I'm coming. And then in his final moments, he said, I see it, I see the doors. They say, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. And he put his head to the side and he passed. These are our shuhada. May Allah make us of those shuhada. May Allah make us like a ummah, that when one part of us hurts, we all hurt. That if you were to see those bodies of your children, you pick up your baby and you're holding it, knowing it's dead. But you're holding, saying, just give me one more moment with my baby. Just give me one more moment with my baby before you take it. I cry thinking I'll never be able to hold my cousins anymore. They're gone. They're alive in a world that we don't know, like Allah tells us, but they're gone. And they're gone for very nefarious, evil reasons, but they're gone. We can take action. One small action we're doing is on Monday, we're going to Trenton to the legislators for New Jersey are meeting on that day. We're going to go there and protest, and we're going to actually walk through the halls and hand out legislation. That's this Monday, November 20th, that we're going to be there trying to take action. There's many, many actions. Brother Tarek, I think, is coming up next to talk about certain things. There are QR codes. Can you guys lift them up? If you guys want to scan them, because we can't just sit silently. One is for phone banking. The other one is if you want to go to this day. And there's more things coming from this coalition that we're developing. And if you want to be a part of it, just please scan these things, and we'll have you all connected. Jazakallah kullu khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay. So here you go. Now you're live.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. It's cold, but our response doesn't need to be cold, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair to Brother Sami. We can't really fathom what our Palestinian brothers and sisters are going through. But we know that, inshallah, as our dear brother Omar mentioned, and we are grateful to this masjid for hosting this. Inshallah, this is the first of many collaborative, united efforts by the Muslim community in New Jersey. Sometimes in the worst of times, there is a silver lining. There are blessings that sometimes come out of the worst tragedies. And one of the blessings we have is the unity that is being forged here in New Jersey between 70 plus masajid, inshallah there will be many more. The unity that is being forged here, the mobilization that is happening. An event like this, an event like the letters that went to the federal officials, an event like the letters that went to the state officials, an event like what's happening on Monday. Inshallah, this is the beginning of great things. And I want to say something to our community, that protests are important, but begin by protesting to Allah. We spend maybe 90% of our time, if I have to guess, if everyone is spending an hour a day on Palestine, 90% of our time, we're scrolling through social media. 10%, maybe 5% in protests. We need to be protesting to Allah, who controls everything. The tahajjud we make, the qiyam, the dua, the fasting, the Quran reading, the salawat, inshallah, Allah is in control. So spend a lot of time protesting to Allah. And the Prophet ﷺ said that we also, when we want to change an evil, we do it with our hand or with our speech or with our heart. Protesting is important, but it is not enough. We had an event where Cory Booker's speech was disrupted by the Muslim community. I'm sure you all saw the video. And some of the staffers there, the people that work for these congressional reps, told us, what are you guys doing? Do you know that the other side is calling, one person is calling the same congressman or congresswoman 3 times a day right now? Are you guys making phone calls? Are you guys making phone calls? We have a responsibility to not just change public opinion with our sharing on social media. We have a responsibility to get on the phones and try to push and pressure our elected officials to change their position. This is what any political group does. We need to be flooding the phones with our voices. And inshallah, there's the effort happening on Monday, the advocacy day. We have these QR codes. No one should leave without scanning these QR codes and joining these WhatsApp groups. We have a WhatsApp group for the protest the Advocacy Day in Trenton at the State House on Monday. We have a WhatsApp group for phone banking events. There's going to be one on December 1st, inshallah, where we're going to get, inshallah, hundreds from our community to get trained on the art of phone banking, how to call your elected officials. We'll have food there, we'll have training there. We want our community in Virginia, that community is making hundreds of calls a day. One WhatsApp group of Muslims is making hundreds of phone calls a day to their elected officials. They have seen the language and the positions of their senators, of their congressional reps change because of these calls, because of their personal meetings. And it's not just a personal meeting to just take a selfie with a congressman. It's a personal meeting with principles, with assertiveness, with confidence, and with demands. We have a lot of power in this community that is untapped. We have a lot of power in this community with our votes, with our money, and most of all with our dua, inshallah. And we have the truth on our side. Any fair-minded person, when they see the truth of the matter, they understand who's in the right and who's in the wrong, who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. We have to learn how to mobilize as a community. So I want to encourage everyone here, if you're only going to protest, that's the beginning, but that's not the end. Please make sure you are protesting to Allah. Please make sure you are making calls. It takes 5 to 10 minutes a day to call your congressional reps. Please join these WhatsApp groups. We have Sister Azra having these posters as well, these posters with the QR codes. Don't leave without joining the WhatsApp groups, inshallah. It was WhatsApp groups that really brought this crowd together today, inshallah. So we can mobilize, and please make dua as well for all the leaders of this masjid who hosted us here today, of all the teachers and the organizers who are putting this together, and make dua for our courageous journalists in Gaza, people like Mu'taz and others. The videos that we're seeing, the heart-wrenching videos, these journalists with their cameras, with their phones, are risking their lives. So we should be praying for them as well, inshallah. So takeaway, don't leave without joining these WhatsApp groups. Join us on December 1st for the phone banking social, inshallah. And join us on Monday in Trenton at the State House, inshallah. I want to ask Dr. Shadee Elmasry from NBIC, from Safina Society, to say a few words.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala.
Thank you.
First of all, I would like to offer my support in everything that Sami and Shumail and Tarek have just said about the activism that has to take place, political activism and political acuteness and intelligence and strategy. And I'd like now to give you another facet, because we're a people of Deen and Dunya, and the description of the Romans when the Byzantines, when the Muslims came, was that they were described by these non-believing Romans, these Christian Byzantines, as Fursanum bin Nahari wa Ruhbanum bil Layl. Today I want to talk about the descriptions of the people who are going to give victory, and upon whose hands is the victory going to come in Philistine. They have a description. In that time, they were described as soldiers in the daytime and monks by night. This issue of Philistine differs from any other issue in the world, in the Ummah of Islam, because the Prophet, the Quran, have described this fitna.
Yes.
And they've given the attributes of the people upon whose hands
Do you
this
mind
victory is going to come.
just show,
This
like,
didn't
kinda like
happen for
showing it to
Andalus,
everyone?
for Kashmir, for Egypt.
There's
No
two. I
other
need a sister
nation,
to also take
Damascus,
one.
no other city, no other place do we have a description in the Quran and in the Hadith of those people. Why? Because those other places can be given victory by the righteous and the vulgar. Egypt has been given victory in Islam by vulgar kings who are not good, but they were Muslim and they got victory. Philistine, Allah describes it in the Quran as the people who will open it. Allah describes them as ibadan lana.
He already has one.
Allah describes them as worshippers of ours. That's how Allah describes them. are these people in?
Here you go.
The first thing is this aqidah. This fitna is from Allah, and we have to alter ourselves, and the first question really should be, how are we reacting? Not, how do we end it? That's not the right answer. How do we end it is not the right answer. The right answer is, what is the correct way that Allah wants us to react? Because He's the source of the beginning of the fitna, and He is the sole source of the end of the fitna. If we don't have that aqidah, we failed already. He's the beginning and the end. هو الأول والآخر. And He's the musabbib. So we have to ask ourselves, what is the wisdom behind it? How does He want us to act? How He wants us to act? The first precondition is to get these attributes within ourselves, that we can be from the people who are described as ibad to Allah, dear worshippers of Allah. Their ibadah is so much as what Tarek said. The bulk of what we should be doing is rectifying our state, and then we take the asbab that our world requires us to take. Jazakumullah khair, wassalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah khair, Dr. Shadee. We are going now to do the Janaza prayer, inshallah. So just line up. You are good to go.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن سار على هديه إلى يوم الدين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Our dear respect Imams, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, allowed me to greet all of you with the Islamic greeting, and the meaning of this greeting to our guests who are maybe non-Muslim. They are with us, either came to preserve what we are doing or to share us with their feeling about those kids, those men, those women killed without mercy in Palestine, in Gaza, and the meaning of this greeting to them to say peace and the blessing of Allah be upon you all. And when we mention this greeting in Arabic, Muslim to Muslim, we say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I did not hear the response. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You can do a better job in this weather in the front of Masjid al-Falah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I have been in New Jersey since 1985, serving your grandfather, your parent, and your kids, alhamdulillah. This is the second Janaza in my life in New Jersey to have this crowd. The first Janaza was in Jersey City for late Qari Abdullah Kamil, may Allah bless his soul. And in that Janaza I did something, and I'm going to request Brother Mohammedi and Sami and everybody to allow me to do it. I request everybody to stay as you are without moving. Are you willing to do that? Say please yes. The only one I'm requesting to move and to walk between the line or from the right or from the left, if you have the title to be Imam or Khatib or Hafiz al-Quran in your masjid, please come forward. Stay next to Brother Sami, inshallah ta'ala. I'm sorry, next to Brother Shadee, and that's the first line for Salat-ul-Janaza. All the Imam, Arab, non-Arab, white, black, name it, please, all of you come forward next to Brother Shadee and make your line as an Imam with the leadership of Masjid al-Falah, inshallah, to honor them before we leave the Salat al-Janaza, inshallah. That is the first line, inshallah. If more Imam come, please request them to come to the first line, and may Allah reward you. I repeat it. Everybody say as you are, except the Imam, Hafiz al-Quran, leader in the society, come forward, and may Allah reward you. Salat al-Janaza, inshallah ta'ala, does not require adhan or iqamah. Nor we are not going to go down to the floor to make ruku' or sujood. Salat al-Janaza only consists 4 takbirat. The word takbira in Arabic to say Allahu Akbar. Can we say it? Give yourself more reward. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. After the first takbira, inshallah ta'ala, you can recite any dua, any durood, but you still can read Surah Al-Fatiha silently. After the second takbirah, we recite the second dua in the tashahhud. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim till the end of the dua. After the third takbirah, this is what the reason we are here. The reason we are here is to make a long dua. Maybe dua al-ma'thur is the best. Allahumma اغفر لحينا وميتنا لصغيرنا وكبيرنا لذكرنا وأنثانا till the end of the dua. That's excellent. But give yourself enough time to mention the name of the family you know. They were killed in Gaza, in Palestine, or in any part of the world. Muslim doesn't make discrimination between soul. All of us were created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And after the fourth takbirah, we say Allahumma la tahrimna ajrahum, because not one person, there are 500, maybe more kids, 12,000, maybe more. Allahu a'lam when is going to be end. As brother Dr. Shadee Elmasry said, don't worry about the ending. Worry how can we start today, full sincere, to make a dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This our beginning. And after the fourth takbirah, by saying Allahumma la tahrimna ajrahum wa la taftinna ba'dahum, we make salam to the right and salam to the left. And I will say to myself a short dua after that in Arabic. And inshallah ta'ala, another dua will be done in English. And the brother and the sister who organize this, they have to inshallah ta'ala to end the program in the way they want. And jazakumullah khair. And there is no adhan, no iqamah. I'm going to move little back down a little bit and do the Salat-ul-Janaza with the dua. And may Allah reward all of you. Ameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن سار على هديه إلى يوم الدين. وقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به. واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا. واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا. أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا إننا سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان أن آمنوا بربكم فآمنا. ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. ربنا وآتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان. ربنا ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. ربنا اغفر لنا ولوالدينا ربنا ارحمهما كما ربيانا صغارا. ربنا اغفر لنا ولوالدينا ربنا ارحمهما كما ربيانا صغارا. ربنا اغفر لنا وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك يا مولانا سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات. اللهم يا ربنا اغفر لأحيائنا وأمواتنا. اللهم يا ربنا اغفر لأحيائنا وأمواتنا. اللهم يا ربنا اغفر لأحيائنا وأمواتنا. اللهم يا ربنا اغفر لصغيرنا وكبيرنا ولذكرنا وأنثانا ولحاضرنا وغائبنا. اللهم يا ربنا من أحييته منا فأحيه على الإسلام ومن توفيته منا فتوفاه على الإيمان. اللهم يا ربنا هؤلاء عبادك تعلمهم ولا نعلمهم. اللهم يا ربنا هؤلاء عبادك في فلسطين تعلمهم ولا نعلمهم. اللهم يا ربنا هؤلاء عبادك في غزة تعلمهم ولا نعلمهم. اللهم يا ربنا إن كانوا محسنين فزد في إحسانهم وإن كانوا مسيئين فتجاوز عن سيئاتنا وعن سيئاتهم. اللهم يا ربنا ارزقهم ديارا خيرا من ديارهم وأهلا خيرا من أهلهم ووسع لنا ولهم في قبورنا وفي قبورهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا ربنا ارزقهم من بين أيديهم نورا ومن خلفهم نورا ومن فوقهم نورا ومن تحتهم نورا وعن أيمانهم نورا وعن شمائلهم نورا واجعل لنا ولهم في قبورنا وفي قبورهم نورا. اللهم يا ربنا لا تحرمنا أجرهم ولا تفتنا بعدهم واحشرنا وإياهم مع النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين وحسن أولئك رفيقا. ربنا نحن وقوفا هنا أمام بيتك هذا يا رب العالمين في هذه الساعة التي تعلمها يا الله يا عليم. اللهم لا تدع لنا في وقفتنا هذه ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا كربا إلا صرفته ولا دينا إلا قضيته ولا غائبا عن أهله من المؤمنين والمؤمنات إلا إلى أهله رددته ولا مظلوما إلا نصرته ولا ظالما إلا عن ظلمه رددته. اللهم يا ربنا كن مع أهلنا في كل مكان. اللهم يا ربنا كن مع أهلنا في فلسطين وكن مع أهلنا في غزة يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا ربنا فرج الكرب عنا وعنهم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم يا ربنا ارفع الظلم عنا وعنهم يا قوي يا متين. اللهم يا ربنا كن مع شهدائهم. اللهم يا ربنا كن مع أطفالهم. اللهم يا ربنا كن مع نسائهم. اللهم يا ربنا كن معهم ولا تكن عليهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا ربنا من أراد بهذا الدين وأهله خيرا فوفقه إلى كل خير ومن أراد بهذا الدين وأهله شرا فأخذه أخذ عزيز مقتدر. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم وإلى حضرة المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم وإلى جميع أرواح أمواتنا وأمواتكم وأموات المسلمين ولمن كان هذا الدعاء بسببهم أهلنا في فلسطين وفي غزة وفي كل مكان. لهم منا هدية ثواب تلاوة سورة الفاتحة. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. May I ask my Imam Shareef to come forward, inshallah ta'ala, to make another dua in English. May Allah reward him and accept our dua. Ameen ya Rabbil Alamin.
Let me just give. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sorry.
We're going to offer a dua, inshallah, in English. And we the words in your heart, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow them to find residence in your heart and light in your mind. Oh Allah, we ask you to forgive the Ummah. We ask you to guide us. We ask you to put light into our heart and illumination into our mind. We ask you, O Allah, to forgive and have mercy upon the believers of Palestine. We ask you to permit them into the Jannah Firdaus. We ask you to protect the families that survive the torment that is taking place within Palestine. We ask you to guide the believers to give their support to the families that are suffering from the oppression and persecution and genocide that is taking place in Palestine. We ask that you will forgive all those who have passed and permit them into the Jannah Firdaus. We ask you to open their graves, make their graves spacious, full of light. We ask you to lighten the burden of the family members who will continue to grieve over their loss. We ask you to strengthen the faith of this Muslim community. We ask you to give us the knowledge and the guidance we need in order for us to fight the oppression and persecution that is taking place, not only in Palestine, but throughout the world. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you guide us and that you make this community successful in its faith, and that you make this community successful in growing, inshallah, in reaching out to human beings to invite them to the truth that you have given to your messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. We ask Allah that you will continue to guide us, forgive us, and have mercy upon us always. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to bless this community, to keep us safe, and to keep us strong, and to make sure, inshallah, that our faith continues to grow, that our iman continues to enrich itself, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be pleased with our actions, and that He will forgive us for any mistakes and errors that we make. Ameen.
Mohammedi.
Thank you.
I am in charge for the
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I would like to thank you all. Jazakumullah khair for all of you for coming. This is the beginning, not the end, inshallah. Barakallahu feekum wa rahmatullahi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Yeah, the QR code that we mentioned, please make sure you scan it. Make sure all of
Poster when the cars exit. There's one exit place. Someone's holding the poster with a QR code, so you can roll down your window, scan it, join the WhatsApp groups, inshallah. As the cars exit, you'll see someone holding the poster.